Welcome back. The subject of this video, and many times I've found, causes a varied response from different people. Some people are for this particular cause. Some people are violently against it. Some have some strong feelings, to say the least. We just recently did a video talking about the pros and cons of becoming a step parent, especially a stepfather. We were really trying to shine a light on some of the things that could be done to help with that particular situation. And so the video that we're about to get into and discuss shines a light even further on the situation that faces a lot of blended families. So let's get into the video. Let's see what we can learn.
So Tara and I were married for 7 years, and 2 years into it, we had Nak Giovanni.
You know, we had a few good years. I just think that at some point, we stopped watering the plant.
And with anything, a plant, if you put poison on it, it'll just wilt and die.
My parents have been together for 45 years. Divorce was never an option for me.
So these were painful times, hard.
It's an awful feeling to not be with your child every day of their life.
At some point, she started seeing somebody after we were done.
Yeah, at the time of the divorce, I didn't consider Jamie finding another wife.
That triggered a lot of emotions. Who was going to be around my son?
The idea of Jason being a co-parent was the easiest thing. I mean, he's completely born to be a father.
So for me, as Nak's stepdad, when I introduce him, I never call him my stepson. Like, this is my son, and I let Nak know immediately when I married his mom, like, you're my son, you're my blood.
He fully embraces him, goes to his basketball games,
Wow. So that's one of the things we talked about in the video. Can you see Jason setting up the respect in the situation, referring to Nak as his son and not his stepson, reassuring him that his position coming into the family is one of love and support for Nak. Even though he might not be the biological father, the love that he can express toward this child is something that will help that child to progress and develop in a positive way. It's something to be looked at. You can't totally dismiss someone because of a choice that they make that involves love, that involves something positive. How can it be a bad thing? Let's keep going.
do homework, I saw him cry once when my son wasn't telling the truth about something. I saw Jason be hurt, like he's invested in him.
Like, we play around a lot, but a lot of it at this stage, especially being 12 and 13, is like how you move through this world as a man.
Jason has this way about him that's something I don't have, which is structure.
By the grace of God, I was blessed with a new husband, and Jamie was blessed with a new wife. I don't care who these other people are with my kid, it's just not me. So I love Jamie and I love Natasha, but it's not me, and so that's my struggle. Like, that's where I fall apart all the time. Nak's relationship with Natasha is great. He just has a huge heart and kind of accepts a lot of people into his world, and she makes it really easy.
Take me to the water.
Music is a big part of this family. It just keeps it really fun and light and loving too, and I think that's a big way of how Nak and I have bonded, being kind of like a new friend in his life as well as a new parent in his life, but still keeping it loving and fun.
One of the things I'm going to do today is I wrote Jason a letter, which opened up a lot of stuff about how I feel about him as a man and as a father to Nak, a co-parent.
I haven't had the opportunity to really sit with Natasha and thank her for all the incredible work that she does with my son. She needs to hear it and she needs to know.
So we'll pause right here before they get into the next segment. Can you see how maturity takes over? Now, at the time, the two parents of Nak, they may not have been in a situation that allowed for their marriage to continue. May have been some things that they just couldn't work out. But do you notice that on both ends, the main goal is to make sure that Nak is cared for physically and emotionally. He has to be cared for. And that's the focus of all the adults that are involved. They want the child to be, as we mentioned before, balanced and productive. And so the way that they enter into the situation is not being demanding, not being domineering, not developing resentment for the biological parents, but coming into the situation calmly and thinking logically and assuming a position that will strengthen the family as opposed to singling one individual out as being different and then ostracizing that individual because of them being different. No, not in this situation. Not in both cases. Both couples have decided to take the mature approach, and we can see that Nak is benefiting from it. So now what about the interactions between the stepmother and the mother, the stepfather and the father? Let's get into it.
I was not expecting that.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It's been a long day. A long day.
So I wrote a letter to you, and I'm gonna read it.
Aren't you supposed to be someone I hate? Aren't you supposed to be someone that challenges my own manhood?
This new woman in my life, a new pair of arms that my son would be cuddled in. I knew I was not being replaced, but you were only adding more love into Nak's life.
You're a man of integrity, a man of skill, a beautiful husband.
You are so kind, tender-hearted woman who I could clearly see loves Nak from her core.
I admire you, and I'm grateful for you.
There's this saying about happy wife, happy life. But I also believe that your love for Jamie makes him a better dad. For Nak, he's so lucky to have you.
I know how powerful it is for a boy to see that his mother is loved, because that's how he's going to treat his wife. And you're doing that for him. You're doing the things I couldn't do. And I love you for that, man. I'm supposed to not love you for that, but I do.
And thank you for being who you are and for loving my boy. You are truly already a wonderful mother, and our journey has only begun. Love you.
This lovely surprise. So sweet, thank you.
Thank you. My man, I just want you to have that. You ain't got to say nothing, man. Just want you to feel my love. Thank you.
Nak has always wanted a big family, one with lots of brothers and sisters. And now look what has happened for him.
Soul Pancake, subscribe.
Okay. So wasn't that a wonderful example of how things can turn out when the focus of a family, especially a blended family, is the children and not the disputes of the grown-ups, the parents. I say this is the reason why I cannot go along with the notion that coming into a blended family as a man is something that should be frowned upon. You hear that notion floating around, and I just cannot support it. I can't. Because if a person falls in love or finds that a single parent is compatible with them, then why not pursue it? Why not? But now I will give this word of caution. If you're considering being a single parent, do you have the patience and the fortitude and the love that are necessary in that particular situation? If you noticed on both sides, there was a tremendous amount of love. There was a tremendous amount of appreciation after some time for the efforts of the step parents. So much so that the video highlighted the biological parents speaking with their counterparts, the step parents, and showing them how much they appreciated the example that was being set. So who benefits here? Who benefits? Everyone involved. Everyone involved. Because as you noticed at the end, it wasn't two couples standing there. It was one family. One family. Because believe it or not, things happen. And sometimes in marriage, things get to a point where the marriage is not something that you can repair. But what does that have to do with the children? What does that have to do with them? You want to be happy. You're making decisions to make your own self happy. Now, why not look at the children and make that same decision for them? Why not put their safety and their livelihood first? Because you'll never be able to go wrong with putting more love and attention into a situation where love and attention is needed. After this video, I'll probably be kicked out of this sector of YouTube because I do not subscribe to belittling or casting off individuals who are single parents. We don't know what happens in individuals' lives. We don't know why they are in the situation that they're in. We don't have any idea. But to judge someone based off of one criteria, to look at them and say because they already have children and the children are by someone else, is a recipe, in my opinion, for disaster, because you're cutting off a great majority of individuals who could be suitable mates for you. And who knows, along the way, you could turn the situation around for a young man or a young woman who's just looking to be loved. Those are my thoughts. As always, like, comment, and subscribe, and be easy.